Hi everyone, get ready with me while I discuss my three most recent Dramione reads. First, can I just mention how I really like this viral Korean cushion foundation? But it's called Tear Tear. It's got this little, I got the mini size because I wasn't sure about the color, but you push it down on here and then you apply it. It's hard to see. This color is a little bit light for me, which is good that I got this small, but I really like it. It's very lightweight. It's got good coverage and it even has SPF. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just really like it. Okay, so the first one I read is called Meet Your Match by Morgan Mercy. This is a light, fluffy, lovely rom-com Dramione. So if you're in the mood for that, this is a good one. Morgan Mercy is a really good writer. She also wrote 10 out of 10, which I talked about in another video. One thing she did in both 10 out of 10 and Meet Your Match that I really appreciated, and I didn't think I would, I was surprised by this, is that she invented like good, thoughtful Muggle characters as foils for Draco and Hermione. I wouldn't think I'd like that because I like the canon characters, but she just has like a deft hand at doing it thoughtfully and making them characters that you love. The premise is that Draco is in Muggle College studying law, and he befriends a guy in his class, and later that man's wife, Shannon, who it turns out is Hermione's oldest childhood friend. Shannon prides herself in being able to sense matches between people, and so she sets up Draco and Hermione, not knowing that they're magical, just thinking, that they're compatible. They are obviously both initially horrified by this notion, and thus begins the idiocracy, the slow burn, the tension. It's all in this one, which we love to see it. They both have feelings for each other that they even had while they were at Hogwarts, but they have to overcome a lot of issues, obviously. This fic has a strong theme about bullying, which I actually found very moving. You learn that Hermione once stood up to bullies for Shannon, who it is revealed is actually a trans woman and was frequently bullied as a kid. And can I just say it's kind of beautiful to have a thoughtful and meaningful trans character in a Harry Potter fanfic? But Hermione has a lot of long-standing issues about Draco's former bullying of her, as she should. She struggles to trust his intentions because she believes that he may be like slumming it with her. And it makes her inner conflict less about her being an idiot and more about her having to overcome like legit issues. The other thing that stands out about this fic is that the spice is very well written, in my opinion, all the way through. Whew. Okay, so once again, I did a fluffy fic and then I did a gut wrencher, The Auction by Loves Bitka 8, which is actually Julie Soto, and I didn't know that, and I have since put Julie Soto's entire collection into my TBR. This one is a canon god tier one for a reason, I feel. From the description, I thought this one was going to be kind of like a manacled wannabe, but I can assure you it's not. It has similar themes, but it's got its own plot, it's got its own vibe. It won't completely obliterate you like Manacled or Secrets and Masks. It's still so good, and it made me bawl myself to sleep upon finishing it. The premise is that the Battle of Hogwarts ends in Voldemort's favor. Harry is unalived, and now Voldemort's people are in charge, and they round up the Order folks, and as the title suggests, there's an auction. Yes, it's gross. Mind your triggers. There is non-con in this, not between Draco and Hermione, but there are for sure dark and upsetting things that are mentioned with other characters, which is hard to read about, especially when it comes to like Ginny, Ron, Luna, Padma, even Pansy. You get the picture. So Hermione thinks she's going to Anton and Dolohov, with whom there are threats and even actual hints of SA, but Draco makes a deal and she ends up going to Malfoy Manor instead. It is revealed that they both had feelings for each other at Hogwarts, but their current situation now makes things really difficult and muddy. So there is a lot of angst and feelings to overcome. Hermione is now dealing with her growing feelings for Draco, her guilt about her good treatment while her friends are not so lucky, and her desperate and conflicting and, of course, academic desire to figure out how to save the world. And what follows is a complicated and torturous but beautiful love story between Hermione and Draco. But what I loved about this one is it was also kind of a love story between Hermione and Narcissa, and even to some degree Lucius. This is hands down my favorite ever version of Narcissa and Lucius, and this version of them has become canon in my head, and now it is hard to accept any other version of them. The conflicted natures of them is part of what makes this fic so special, and in fact all of the characterization in general. It's like what makes people who they are, why they make certain choices, how people are affected by the psychology of war, how they dehumanize others, what makes people remain loyal or not remain loyal, and of course the insidious nature of Stockholm Syndrome. Julie Soto has emerged, in my mind, as a master of characterization. It's exquisite. Nothing in this story is cut and dry. When she's later back with her Gryffindor friends, you want to hate them for how they're treating her, but you do have to step back and remember that they have a right to be bitter. While they were all suffering horrible fates, she was living in this like 5-star accommodations and having multiple O's and falling in love with someone they all hated that once tormented them, even while they risked everything to try and save her. This is a long fic. It's, I think, over like 800 pages. Again, it's worth it. I could have spent another 1,000 pages living in this world with this version of these characters. Finally, I just finished Remain Nameless by Hey Jude 19. I think this is also a canon one. This is an HEA, Happy Ever After, and it's more rom-com, which I needed after reading the auction, but I wouldn't call this one light and fluffy. Draco is in a dark place in this one, but his journey to the light with Hermione is so incredibly beautiful that it makes this, again, over 600-page fic worth every moment. This one is also canon compliant, minus the epilogue. So everything in the original series happened, except for the epilogue, obviously. It's about 7 years after the Battle of Hogwarts, and Draco is like a numb shell of a person. His father's gone, his mother has kind of abandoned him, and he's healing from a potions dependency. This was the first time I'd ever seen a potions dependency in a fic, and it was really interesting, and because I've often wondered about it, like, how much dreamless sleep potion is too much? So he's in therapy, and he's just trying to live day to day, dealing with his nightmares and his very low self-worth. So every day before work, where he's a talent scout for a Quidditch team, he goes to this muggle coffee shop to try and feel normal and have a few moments in a world where people don't know who he is and what he's done, obviously. So he enjoys this. It's like the bright spot in his day. And one day he sees Hermione at the coffee shop and realizes that she also goes there every day. And so after numerous days of seeing her, but her not seeing him, he approaches her, and they are very wary of each other at first and confused about how to treat each other. But they begin to sit together every morning and chat. And this soon becomes even more the highlight of Draco's day and, in fact, life. And they just get to know each other on this deep emotional, academic, and personal level. It's so lovely. And he begins having deep feelings for her. It's more in his POV, although we do get some of hers. This is obviously a slow burn. They start dating after what feels kind of like forever, and eventually their relationship progresses, but in this very lovely and realistic and thoughtful way. He consistently has to come to terms with the fact that somebody like her could love somebody like him, and of course she's got a lot to overcome too. I have to say, I was a little sad, especially after the auction, that Narcissa and even Pansy are not super lovable in this one. But this one had something I didn't know I needed, and that is Draco and the Gryffindor bunch becoming friends. And especially Draco and Ginny even developing like a sibling relationship. It was just the most soul healing and gorgeous thing. I need more Dramionies where this happens. In fact, if you know of any, please let me know. Having Draco be accepted not only by Hermione, but by Harry, Ron, Ginny, the Weasleys, Andromeda even, it filled something in my heart. Oh, gorgeous. So I fully recommend all three of these fics. Please give me your recommendations, or if you want more recs from me, if you have specific things you're interested in and you want me to try to rec something for you, let me know, and I will see you next time. Okay.